Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the RRD Creates podcast, where we create, educate, and inspire. Today, we're going to go ahead and get further in depth with vendor events. In our previous episode, we talked about the basics. Now, we're going to give you some tangible insight into what to do, 5 helpful tips that you can make the most of your vendor event, even if you have a digital art business. So, after this short message from our sponsor, I'll get right back to you and we'll get right into it. Alrighty, let's get into it. So you have a brilliant talent for bringing art and technology together to create digital products. Maybe you make business card templates, calendars, journal pages, digital papers, printables, whatever. And your success has brought you an opportunity to actually participate in a vendor booth event. First of all, congratulations. Big or small, a vending event can really help you grow as a business owner, just as we discussed in a previous episode. And it's definitely something to be celebrated. But now what do? You don't have the luxury or burden of a ton of inventory on hand or hundreds of products to simply pack up and bring with you to the event. So how do you make money or get anything out of it? Is it even worth your time? We discussed this in a previous episode about, when it's worth it and when it's not worth it. But let's dive into situations where we can really capitalize on our vendor event. As a business owner, you've probably heard that you have to spend money to make money, and that sentiment is kind of true. What's not true is the concept that you have to spend beyond your means to build a business and make money. Good spending includes marketing properly, attending trade shows, or paying for subscriptions to trade publications to stay relevant, buying materials, or paying for proper software for your industry. Vending events kind of fall under the category of marketing. And with booth fees that usually cost between $25 and up to $5,000 or more, you can see where, without research, this can easily be a great use of spending, or it can be a poor choice and just lead to frivol spending, So let's get into the top 5 simple ways to rock your vendor event, even if you're a digital product business. Number 1. Do your research. A vendor event is only as fruitful as you make it. Whether you plan to use this time as a marketing and network opportunity or a moneymaker, you have to know the history of the event. In order to assess the likelihood of the event to be successful, either monetarily or just in exposure, there are so many things to consider. Here's a few. Who attends this regularly? How old are they? What are their interests? What are their spending habits? Who is a vendor each year? Do you know any of them? Can you look them up on Instagram? How are they talking to their market? Is their market your market? Will you have any strong competition? Now, this one's a silly one, but when you get there, it'll be the most important thing ever. Is electricity included? Now, I made the mistake of just, taking vendor booths early on without asking that question. And when it comes to electricity, in 30-degree weather, you want it. Even if you think you don't need it, you will. You want it for lighting. You want it for the possibility of having to use a fan or a heater. You want someone to come in and be, happy to stay there for more than a couple seconds. So just something to think about. Will inclement weather change the foot traffic to this event? If it's rainy and it's indoors, it's not that big of a deal. It will dampen the number of people that come, but not as much as if you have a craft fair that's outdoors, it rains, it's basically over. There's no reason to go, and here you've already spent your deposit. Next, we have, is this event properly promoted by the organization, or is it up to you vendors to bring the traffic? Any organization of any merit that is having an event wants to make sure that the money that they're putting into the event pales in comparison to the money they get from the event. So when I see an event that has no marketing materials, they don't send out flyers, they don't have it in the newspaper, they don't have it on Facebook events, they don't post anything on Instagram, I'm not interested because no one knows about it. Everyone's online these days, especially during the COVID era. So not promoting something online makes zero sense to me. It should not be up to each individual vendor to bring interest to this experience. It's great if they have a solid marketing plan to start with, and then the vendors, push their own agenda. But if they're not doing anything, you shouldn't be doing anything. You should just take your money and run. Where will your booth be is probably the most important part of this. A lot of times you don't have much control over that. My best advice is to pay your deposit early if it seems like a perfect fit. And usually the earlier you pay, the better likelihood you have of getting placed. Sometimes somebody in the events department, thinks they know what you sell, and then they'll throw you in a certain location. And other times you can choose as long as you get there early enough. And other times you're assigned based on your handmade goods go in the handmade group, So it's just a kind of a toss up when it comes to that kind of stuff. But the earlier you pay your deposit, the better off you may be. That brings us to topic number 2, promote and marketing in advance. You've done the research, so now you know the general demographics of who's going to be there, other vendors, and the more functional parts of the vending event, as far as your business is concerned anyway. So with this information, you can now create marketing materials on websites like Vistaprint or Canva, or if you have the appropriate professional software, you can create materials in Adobe InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop. Be creative in how you approach this. Sometimes it's better to show the behind the scenes and quick snaps of the process of getting ready, rather than showing post after post of come see me January 12th, booth number 1234. Using hashtags and mentions to show credibility and being associated with the event drives organic traffic to your social media pages and hopefully real traffic once you actually go to the booth. Topic number 3, make your talent tangible. So we talked a lot about the basics and kind of the nitty-gritty details of having a vendor booth in general. But let's address the fact that you may not have a physical product. You may be one of these people on Etsy who is secretly making hundreds of dollars on digital products, and you don't really have much to offer in person, but you'd like to expand upon that. So let's go ahead and look into this a little bit further. So let's say you're about 8 weeks away from the big day. You should spend this time ordering digital designs on tangible products. Don't go crazy. Keep in mind how much the booth rent's going to be and pay attention to your own finances before breaking the bank. But check out sites like Printify, Vistaprint, or Printful to get your designs on canvases, mugs, Christmas ornament, t-shirts, leggings, and more. As a business owner, you can get these items for a discounted rate if you purchase in small batches as samples. So all these little things pieced together can be promoted as exclusives or limited edition in order to increase the hype surrounding the event. If you're building a sense of scarcity and urgency around your products, it can actually take you from just another booth to actually a destination. Like, I have to go to Jenny's booth because this is the only time I've ever seen her offer her leggings in my size, or this is the only time I've ever seen her offer, Christmas ornaments with this design. So it's a great way for illustrators to really take their ideas from paper to product. If you solely sell digital products, these limited edition products are actually a great way to have your booth visitors remember to check out your store later in the future. So, here I have this, t-shirt that I loved from Jenny's booth. And when I go to look up Jenny's store, all I see are options for digital plans, printables, etc. And, that way I can actually see that she offers more than just what I picked up. Which leads us to topic number 4, get your printed marketing materials ready. So back to our example, the event's now 2 weeks away. And trust me when I say that, you need to get your marketing materials like banners, posters, brochures, postcards, business cards printed and prepared in advance. I like my local FedEx office location because they're 24 hours. They also have a razor sharp paper cutter. And if I run into any issues, the staff is usually very helpful. If I print something off wrong, they teach me how to do it properly. If they print off something wrong, they'll replace it for free. So it's actually nice to just have someone else responsible for the print quality of my materials, because if I print them at home, then it's all on me and it's all on my ink and my money to continue to fix things. So give yourself the time to print, cut, organize, and pack so that the day of the event, you just have to set up and just rock it. Whether you have tangible products or not, having the marketing materials will actually enable you to hand out more information to fellow vendors, people that happen by your booth, and customers who purchase from you that day. Here's a helpful tip. Offer a coupon code or a contest incentive to get potential customers to add your social media pages or buy from your digital offerings. So if, let's say, you make really great quilted wallets in person, but online you're actually more interested in making budget-friendly printables and how-tos on balancing checkbooks and things like that, those would be great products that go together that also incentivize someone to purchase the wallet. And then if they have free access or discounted access to your printables that can help them with their budget, it's an appropriate connection. So it's definitely just a good idea to get creative with your promotions. If you have to mark up your prices to mark them back down, that's another key tactic in getting people to understand the value that you offer. And finally, topic number 5, networking and in-booth multimedia presentations. So you've made it to the vending event. How can you make your booth stand out? Multimedia and your shining personality. So I personally, I've worked as a technology instructor, I've worked as a graphic designer, I've worked in fashion design. So there's a bunch of different things that I've done. And I can guarantee you that all the trade shows that I've been to in different industries, from home decor to just typography and graphic design, the ones that were most popular had the most going on. They were clean, clear. You were able to see exactly who the person was, what they were all about. And they had some multimedia component in there. So in this day and age, we've got iPads, Kindles, laptops, you name it. There's no reason you can't promote your digital work in a digital fashion. Hence why we need that electricity in the booth. You can also think about if you just happen to have a, solar powered generator or something like that to plug in your stuff. That's an option too. But in general, electricity is always just makes life easier for your booth. So first and foremost, make sure you're talking. Talk. Network with your fellow vendors, shake hands with anyone who catches your eye, hand out brochures, make sure to have meaningful conversations. And it's so funny that I came up with this idea ages ago to, make this as a blog post or something. But, definitely bring hand sanitizer. Nowadays, wear your masks, comfortable shoes, and just the biggest smile you have, because you are your best salesperson. Talk about your process. Talk about, their great bracelet that you like. Every connection really increases your chances of selling products or even being offered opportunities down the road. There have been instances where I've met jewelry designers, or I've met a couple like illustrators and more crafts people. And we've worked together to create little limited edition lines and shared booth spaces, because sometimes booths can be expensive and it can be hard to fill the booth with all of your product when you're not sure if it's going to sell or not. So if you're shaking hands with people and there's an upcoming event that you think both of you would benefit from, why not reach out to somebody else and ask to share a booth? You can have, if you sell clothing like I do, clothing and accessories, and you have someone that, makes amazing jewelry, let them share your booth. Because when have you ever walked into a boutique and it only sells clothes? I used this in my last episode, but you go to a gas station, they don't just sell gas. They sell gum, they sell soda, they sell everything you need as a traveler. So in our case, if we're making a pop-up shop, is how I think of vendor booths, what does everyone need if they're going to a shopping experience in a mall? Well, we need to bring that here. So having someone else, do half the work, pay half the booth rent, is just a benefit to you. Just make sure you are clear on, splitting profits, or, her sales are her sales, your sales are your sales. You have to come up with that decision on your own. And let's get into the multimedia component. If you have electricity at your booth, bring plenty of cords and surge protectors to have your lighting, phone, tablet, laptop, or even a flat screen TV powered throughout the event. Create a simple PowerPoint or a video and set it on a loop throughout the event. That way you can have music, but, avoid any dialogue or too many words on each screen, as it's simply just a way to get people in the booth, get them hooked, so to speak. You don't need them to sit around and enjoy the movie, but you do need them to come in. Maybe it's 1 to 3 minutes long, because what normal person is going to sit there and watch a video for 3 solid minutes over and over? Once they've seen it once, they'll be gone. Or they're purchasing from you at that point, or they're asking questions. So a quick slideshow makes it easy. Think of those digital billboards on the highway. Information needs to be quick, beautiful, and impressive. So, just make sure you're hitting those 3 marks. And you can now utilize things like Canva, as I mentioned before, canva.com, for free templates. Mix it up with your brand's colors, appropriate pictures, and then you have a high resolution video to just run at your booth. If you don't have electricity at your booth, charge up your laptop and your tablet. When one dies, you got to use the other, and bring back a power cell or something like that for the tablet to keep you going until the end of the event. Most events last 4 to 6 hours, so it doesn't have to last all day, but you should definitely have a backup. It's help me help you kind of a thing. So there you have it. Those are my 5 simple ways to rock your next vending event, even if you have a digital product-based business. The best part about all these tips is that even if you don't sell a single thing at your booth, you'll still end up with great results, because if we highlight what we've done, we have established excellent marketing materials, we've networked, we've talked, we've promoted ourselves via social media, we've attached ourselves to a vending event with a solid social media presence. So we have built, a larger footprint for ourselves. So it's just one of those things that over time you're going to appreciate things like this more and more, because as creators, we just kind of sit at home and make our little dreams come true and work with our clients one-on-one, especially in the digital field. You're sitting at home making hundreds of digital papers. You're not really talking to anybody day to day. So this is a great way to just get out of your comfort zone in a positive way and, really get out into your community, because, in times like this, when everything is kind of shifting around, honestly, I believe that we're going back to the basics. I think customers are seeing where it's worthwhile to use the globalized economy, for a t-shirt at Walmart, or for, just, a quick apple in the middle of the winter, things like that. But they're seeing where they've misstepped in, kind of lumping small business in as if, it needs to work like a mass retailer. So, with that, we need to harness this. We need to go into 2021 stronger. And, we're more than just masks. We're not only necessary to the universe if we can make people masks for $5 a piece, So this and other vendor event tools are all available in the description. I've got lots of links to Amazon, all my favorite tools. So check back regularly, and we'll go into some other crazy topic. Have a great rest of your day, and this is Rachel again with RRD Creates. Have a good one.